Hey everybody, it's Brian Bedford, CEO of the Bedford Agency and Recruit Route. And today I want to answer a question that I get so often. Can high schools do collectives? Well, it's a complicated question and requires a little bit more foresight when we think about what a collectives are and kind of how they've been constructed at the college level. And then ultimately, what are some of the impacts that we have to start thinking about at the high school level? Okay, so let's make sure we have the full context. So a collective are a group of organizations, mainly at the college level, who are raising funds, they're booster driven, they're providing opportunities for endorsements to student athletes primarily in college. Now, again, this is kind of where most of this activity occurs. And so they're raising money and they're creating contracts and then they're educating and executing a deliverable in kind of a booster driven model. They're typically independent of the universities. They have a different board of directors, different employees. They have a different typically, they're not for profit, so they have a 501c3 that is independent of the university, and they are able to execute these endorsements that are leveraging the funds coming in from kind of crowdsourcing, and then they're partnering with brands and they're creating endorsements or they're creating opportunities for appearances, social media, and brand endorsements. Okay, so let's apply that to the high school level. So some states uh, expressly prohibit collectives. Some don't speak to it at all in their guidelines. Okay, so it's important as you go state to state to understand the differences in which state allows them expressly and which one allow them. Now, even if you have them, let's talk through the mechanics of that. In many states, the way that the guidelines will read will look like no one directly associated with the school, meaning an employee or a coach or an athletic director or anyone else, or an agent of the school, which is an important kind of phrase, right, can execute NIL deals for high school student athletes. And why is that important? Well, the second part of that is really the most critical portion of that, which is an agent of the school. And so, again, requires interpretation from state to state and with different legal people, but most would align that to being an school could be any member of a 501c3 or like a booster club or a quarterback club where they might be an official or a ranking member of said booster club. They are attaching their booster club and their 501c3 nonprofit status to the high school. That could be construed as an agent of the school. So there's a couple of things as you think about eligibility and amateurism. I would be very careful. What I tell most coaches and what most parents is don't complicate sponsorship with NIL. If you need support in high school, and we've seen it all across the way, we've seen kids getting text messages to say, hey, I need $50 to raise money for my baseball team or my cross country team or whatever. That is sponsorship. We're helping all of the kids. We're getting them shoes. We're getting them bats, balls, whatever it is. We're getting them weight equipment. That is sponsorship. And we're helping the entire team. That is not NIL. Or if we have a brand endorsement on the outfield wall or something like that in the gymnasium sponsoring a local insurance company, that is sponsorship. That helps all the kids. Name, image, and likeness, again, as a reminder, is the right to publicity, and that's really individual. So I'd be really careful, right, as you think through the constructs of that. What we typically guide most folks to is look at marketplaces, look at uh, items like that, where if you need to point student athletes or a parent to, and they're concerned about, trying to, be the best that they can be from an NIL perspective, look at marketplaces that have a disclosure component built into them. And what I mean by that, well, the ability to have a contract, a true deliverable, a place for student athletes to be 1099 from a tax perspective, make sure that there's full compliance around that. rather than having a group of parents trying to do something, trying to create a business or an entity, right, that's separate from the school and jeopardizes eligibility. It gets risky. And so, can you do NIL collectives? It depends state to state. Are the risks very high, in my personal opinion? I think they're very high. So take that for what it's worth. Hope this helps you. There's so much more to dig into. If you have questions, you can reach out to us at the Bedford Agency on Twitter or X, or at recruit_route on X. And you can always email us, thebedfordagency at gmail.com. And we'll see you next time. Thanks and have a great day.